I want to share something with you that I've been sitting with on relationships. I think that a lot of us know much earlier than we let ourselves admit, at least I have in the past, especially in relationships, when there's a moment where something shifts and you feel it. And it's probably not dramatic, but it's clear. Something doesn't land the same. Something in you feels like pulling back from the person, the situation, the environment. And instead of trusting that, we stay in it, we keep engaging, we try to understand it or fix it or get back to how it used to feel, how it used to be. And what I've been noticing lately is that I don't do that in the same way I used to anymore. I trust what I feel a lot sooner now. And that changed everything about how I move with people. I think before, I didn't treat what I felt in my body was something that was actually reliable. I would feel something in a conversation like it didn't quite land, or it made me feel uncomfortable or judged, or something felt just slightly off. But instead of letting that be enough, I would stay in it. I would keep talking. I would keep explaining myself, trying to figure out the right way to say something so that it would land differently for them. Or I would tell myself I needed more context, more time, more clarity, or they did. And especially with people I care about, I would try to get back to how it used to feel, like if I just stayed long enough, or understood them hard enough, or communicated well enough, it would come back into alignment. And there's usually a very specific moment when you really know, like something in you registers it, like somatically. Maybe it's how somebody responds to a certain thing you said to them, or something they say, or just the way it feels to be around them. And it's subtle. And the more you care about someone, the more subtle it is, but it's extremely clear. And instead of trusting that, you try to understand it or fix it or make sense of it, and there's still this split that starts to happen where externally you're still participating, but internally something has already shifted and you don't feel comfortable and you don't know what to say, and you kind of want to get out of the conversation or the situation, and instead of just trusting that shift, you try to close the gap and try to bring yourself back into the connection and figure out a way to stay in it, at least in that present moment. And if you really slow this down, it's actually happening in your body first, like you're in a conversation and something tightens up in your chest, or your stomach drops slightly, or your body just doesn't open up and in to the expansion and the comfortableness and the ease, and the curiosity. There's less pull towards the person. And I think for a long time, I didn't trust that kind of information. I would override it, or I would push past it, or I would tell myself I was being too sensitive or reading into things. And I would stay in that interaction longer than it actually felt right. I would get to the edge of it being tolerable, like border going into the intolerable place, right? That window of tolerance, trying to get back to that feeling that just wasn't there anymore, and staying in this very edgy place. And what feels different for me now is that it's not that I don't feel those things or have those thoughts. It's that I don't ignore them. I notice them earlier and I let them actually mean something to me. I don't need as many repetitions of the same feeling to believe it anymore. I don't need as many conversations and looping over and over and over again to confirm it. I don't need to explain it to myself in 10 different ways before I trust it. It's not about reacting quickly, it's about not staying in something that already feels misaligned just because I don't have the perfect reason for it. It's simply because it just doesn't feel good in my heart. It doesn't feel good in my body. My body doesn't want to be there. And it's getting easier for me to know that that is enough information and that means something. It doesn't matter if I'm right. What matters is what I feel. And this integration has changed how I show up with people in a really real way in every area of my life. I don't push for connection in the same way. I don't keep trying to get back into alignment if it's not there. I don't feel the same pressure to explain myself or make someone else understand what I'm feeling. And I don't try to bring people along with me if something has shifted. I can just notice. This doesn't feel the same anymore. And I let that be enough without turning it into a long conversation that doesn't actually go anywhere. And I think that this is the part that's been the biggest shift for me, and honestly, something that's brought me so much peace of mind and quality of life. And it's just learning how to let things change without making it into something dramatic, especially with someone else. Without needing closure in the way that I used to, without needing to be fully understood or to justify why something feels different. Just letting people be where they are and letting myself be where I am without trying to reconcile the two or to force them back together. It just reminds me of something I heard a really long time ago, and it's a cliche, but it's true. Sometimes completion is the completion that you give yourself. And this is really showing me a benchmark on my own personal growth because things that used to activate my nervous system don't hit me in the same way anymore. I'm much more resilient. There's still a response sometimes, but it's quieter, less charged, or the charge will quickly dissipate, faster than it used to. And that tells me something in me has shifted, that I've grown, that I've changed and evolved. Something is more settled, more coherent, and that makes it easier to trust when I'm having any feelings for anybody or anything, because it's not coming from the same place that it used to, this place of scarcity and lack, this place of not feeling enough, this place of trying to compensate for myself. I am filled in those areas. The trust is there. The belief is there. And so I'm not trying to get others and to fill that up for me. This isn't about having everything figured out or always getting it right. It's just about not overriding ourselves in the same way and letting what you feel actually matter to you earlier than you used to. Even if it's just a couple seconds, baby step it, it will grow and it will become strengthened and straightened. This ability to trust, even when it things really change, even when people flow in and out of your life, even if it doesn't make sense to anyone else. It makes sense to you. And you're the only person that you really need to worry about, at least when it comes to these matters. And, you know, as a friend of mine likes to say, not your monkey, not your circus. I am Kristen, and I'm so happy that you came and hung out with me in this video. If you're resonating, please drop something in the comments below. I always read my comments, and I love to hear your thoughts and feelings and your own processes, and how you may have been supported or just felt, um, you know, connected to what's being said in the video. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed it, and definitely subscribe and can become part of the community. I would absolutely love to connect with you a little bit more. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video or on a live stream. I live 4 or 5 times a week. It is a quiet room, somatic chat space with journal prompts and mantras and community chatting back and forth and supporting each other and just hanging out and being ourselves with chill lo-fi beats and meditation music on in the background, and just a moment to yourself that is also with others. So I will see you there. I will see you in a video, and whenever it is I see you, that'll be when it's meant to be. Bye.